and maybe they can maybe they've talked to their coach, maybe they can execute that strategy better this game. I'm skeptical, but we'll have to see.
Well, we are going to see W1D2 going to run it again here. Big poke and AoE damage here. They're on our blue side here for game one. Snake on the right-hand side. There'll be a red team here for this particular game. As Barker is going to move out now towards his mid lane and see what he wants to get done here. Ninja now on Jace again, I believe, for a second time in 2 days. So we'll be playing that. And this was the issue as Aluka will find Flandre real quick. The issue W1D2 ran into with this comp yesterday is just they were a little too squishy. Whenever they got engaged on, they just could never get away from it.
No, absolutely not. And that's why you're scared of that AoE damage that's going to be coming in, just because it could be devastating with those Tristana resets.
Looks like everyone just kind of hanging out, wanting to defend. His Spirit's actually in a pretty groovy position as Riven maybe thinking about hopping over a wall here and going in. And they are trying to set up some sort of level 1 here, maybe just for wards here. Ninja just walking through a trinket ward there as well. Just people backing also. Barker actually took a little bit of poke damage there as well, but they will get started up. In fact, Spirit's going to go and he wants to duel Flandre early on. He's going to maybe force him out there. And yeah, Spirit's just going to walk away. A little bit of level 1 pressure.
Absolutely. And World Elite's kind of main directive in this early game is just to get some of those aggressive wards down, just to get vision of the enemy jungle, just because you want to get tabs on Nunu as much as possible, right? If you can get tabs on him, if he's predictable, he can be planned for. But if he's walking through that darkness, if you don't get the wards down, he can cause that havoc.
Absolutely. So looks like we will break out into standard lanes here. STYZ and Conan looking to start their Krugs. And I believe the Gromp will be started as well by Crystal and Ella. Spirit here going to start his Gromp though, and move on to blue buff, and Nunu on the red side of his jungle.
Absolutely, but we will get the Golems, sorry, the
Krugs.
The Krug start, apologies there.
That's fine.
So there will be a bit of experience. We'll have to see whether that translates into an early level 2 for Sivir here, and she can really start pushing in that lane and deciding whether she wants to push in or maybe hold it back and control it.
See the mid lane here as well, so we'll just finish off that camp towards the bottom. I'm not quite sure who's supposed to get an advantage here. Big, heavy poke in the mid lane here with both Jace and Xerath. Curious on your thoughts on that particular mid lane match.
It's quite an even match. I mean, both champions do the same thing, right? I guess you could argue that Jace has more of that all-in flavor. If he gets a strong jungle gank, he can turn into that melee form and try and get some execute damage with the E. But in general, we're going to see a lot of safe farming here, unless the junglers really become heavily involved.
Yeah, and I think maybe what W1D2 were missing was, did they have Sivir in that last game? Spirit's actually very low in his jungle, but he should be fine. I talked a little bit about, we were talking actually before the broadcast that Sivir ult is just such a big, great skill that the Chinese teams love to use. But acceleration gate from Jace almost feels like a mini version of that sometimes. Having both here is a lot of movement potential here for W1D2 if they want to get in or out of team fights.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a massive AoE team movement speed right there. And it will help Riven a lot. Even though Riven has that naturally high movement speed, she moves at about 470 movement speed when she's using her Q. Ensuring that she will constantly have that really high movement speed will allow her to close the distance and maybe get some execute kills off in team
And if you're trying to enable Spirit as a carry here as well in this Riven, I think Konan's picked a great support here in Morgana. We haven't seen much Morgana at all so far in the LPL, but that's a great way to keep that Riven in. I feel like Riven's AoE is actually underrated. If you can line up all her abilities and get that wind slash over maybe 4 or 5 people, she does quite a lot of damage.
I mean, the intriguing thing to me is that we don't see much lockdown CC coming out of this Snake side here. We have slows from Nunu, obviously, and slows from Rumble as well. But the only hard CC comes out of the Xerath here. So it's not like they were crying out for a Morgana Black Shield here, but the engage potential of the Dart Binding obviously will be very useful.
So Crystal now just farming underneath their turret. A bit of a slower lane this time around for the Snake bottom lane, just trying to keep their CS under turret as the ever obnoxious Sivir continues to push and push and push.
I mean, one of the reasons why we're seeing Sivir come back is, okay, we're in China, so obviously the teamfight ultimate is always going to be a core tenet of picking Sivir. But Sivir, especially when she picks up that first item, usually the BF, so that's all you see, it's gank and mid.
Going in there, good stun though. Barker gets knocked up, Ninja over the top, trying to knock him back. There's a lot of damage, and Beast also in here, uses the snowball, but might have the damage. Here's Flandre instantly though with that TP. Harpoon does land, and he immediately swaps targets there to Spirit.
The TP timing was wonderful coming out from Flandre right there. He's showing another side of his game. He didn't really need to show the TP prowess in his last series, but great TP and it evens up the engage.
Certainly noticed that Flandre loved to aggressively teleport though, even in the series they played yesterday. And he's also a big a lover of early home guard enchantment as well, so he really likes to move around the map.
I mean, coming back to that lane control though, it's only now, it's only about 10 seconds after the teleport that Lissandra's able to force that lane into the turret. So very minimal losses for that teleport, and obviously the massive gain and the kill picked up.
And Flandre just again, such a smart player above, on top of everything else. So much promise here for this. Again, very hyped top laner, but as we move back to the bottom lane here, Sivir with a nice little lead pushing in Tristana, kind of how we expect this matchup to go.
Absolutely, and that's Tristana can't really deal with the strong pushing, especially at early levels, until she gets her explosive shot up and, you know, some attack speed. And that's why we see that static shiv as the common first pickup from Triss, just to give her a bit more lane control.
But right now, Tower's reasonably healthy and towards this bottom lane, but STYZ continuing to assert some dominance here in the bottom lanes. We'll keep farming around. Top lane pretty even in CS there as well. Looks like Jace has got his early tier to get things going for him.
And just coming back to speculating about the strength of Sivir, one thing I want to say is once you pick up that BF sword, you have the dual option of instantly clearing a wave and pushing it into the enemy's turret, you know, obviously giving your jungler a better chance to go in there and invade, or, you know, just like a standard AD carry, holding the lane. You know, obviously you don't need to use your AoE, not like Triss who has the explosive shot and has to push. You have both options, so your lane control and then your team fight's so strong, and that's why we see Sivir rising up the picks.
Yeah, and here comes Beast clearing out the Scuttle Crab, just getting some vision. Actually spotted off a ward here. It's the pink ward that he spotted with that Raptor Smite, but Spirit will fend him off there. And the counter jungler has not been nearly as deadly as it was the last time we saw Beast's Nunu.
No, not so far, but, you know, let's give him a chance. He's picked up the early kill. He has the Stalker's Blade in there, so he has extra CC options. I'm not really sure how Nunu's going to play from equal or behind, but I'm excited to find out.
And I think that's maybe the question we have for Snake as a team. We saw them, they looked brilliant when they were ahead, and they did that twice in 2 games with Beast constantly ganking Flandre's lane and getting him ahead and letting him kind of, you know, lead the charge for his team. We haven't seen this team play from behind yet, though.
And it's one of those big narratives, although we see Spirit invading.
Yeah, he is coming through, wants to get in, maybe could steal this away, but Beast's got to be careful. There's a great activation of the ultimate as well. Spirit with a good knock-up, wind slash there, perfectly executed Riven Jewel.
Now, interestingly, that Beast would have seen that ward coming down, so he would have had advanced knowledge that Riven was coming in. Maybe he wasn't actually centering the screen and focusing on his champion there, but, you know, an easy duel picked up from Spirit.
Yeah, maybe checking the shot there, but Beast does go down there in Spirit. Very successful jungler, but he gets himself a solo kill with that level 6 Riven. We move back down towards the bottom lane here. Again, still Sivir pushing him, but Crystal, this will get slightly easier as Explosive Shot gets more and more levels.
And that kind of auto-push mentality of Sivir, as I imagine she's going back to pick up a BF sword here, has afforded a 15 CS or so advantage. It's going to be equaled up, of course, during the back timer here, but Sivir sneaking ahead in the bot lane.
Spirit wants to get more, apparently. Baka dodging out that poke there from Ninja's Jace.
Flash is available, though, so there could be the quick instant gap close coming in here.
And Riven, of course, very mobile. Good pink ward as well from Rodel. Just up the top, make sure no one else comes in. And Spirit, he is fishing very hard. He does go in there. Good smite actually will slow him down. Knockup does come in. Great knee there. And now Ninja going to go all in under that turret. He gets slowed though and has to be careful. Baka does have his ultimate. Can he get the snipe here? Maybe just going to wander off and try and use it, but it could be out of range now.
And you just saw Ninja ping 7 there. You know that extra damage from the level up would have been enough to kill him. So it's so close, but no good.
He's coming there as well. Acceleration gets Snowball. Not quite enough damage, though.
It's a game of inches, Julian, so far.
Yeah, Baka, they're very low. We'll clear out his minion zone, likely going back to base.
All right, we're going to calm down a bit now. No more engagements on the map. Looking up the top lane here, very, very equal. And moving down the bottom, STYZ back to pushing. He's got that BF sword. He's feeling good.
Yeah, ready to just auto-push this lane pretty much as even harder than before. I think we already mentioned the mid lane match because Crystal does actually get involved in a bit of a trade. Nice Tormented Soul there from Conan picking up some damage. And just a couple autos there from Sivir as well. But we did look at the mid lane matchup already. This is, I think, maybe one of the more popular top lane matchups now as well, with Lissandra being such a big pick and Rumble seeing a bit more play. How does this particular one play out? Because Flandre has kept it even here. Is that expected?
I do like Rumble in this matchup just because, especially if you waste your E ability on Lissandra, if you get locked down with a harpoon or two, you can easily be killed. So much burst damage coming out from Rumble over time, and of course Lissandra a bit defenseless in that situation. So there is that potential, but if you play smart, it can be a pretty even farm lane, which I have to say I think favors Rumble.
Yeah, seems like it's turning into a good dodge there from Crystal, actually, of the Dark Binding. As we're going to have a trade back and forth. Ella, W's, STYZ, but Sivir just very, very impressive with this BF sword. It's kind of hard to do anything.
And this early first 9 minutes, you see the aggressive rocket jump coming in, probably just for poke damage here. This first 9 minutes or so suggests to me that you kind of really want that Sivir with the Nunu, just because we're watching all the auto pushing here. There's been very precious few times Beast has actually had the ability to get those aggressive wards to counter those enemy camps here. He's kind of been relegated to just farming his jungle, which, you know, it'll power up that stun in the late game, but it doesn't help any of his lanes in the early game.
Not right now, as we near towards 10 minutes here. So a bit more vision being paid attention to around the Dragon area, but Spirit actually has found his way up towards the top lane, looking for a gank here on Flandre.
Oh, I see pings coming out here. They aren't red pings though, so I believe Spirit's snuck in here. Let's see a kill.
Andre's Spidey Sense actually just pops his ult. Wants to clear that wave out. Maybe knows that Spirit's here. That would be a real good intuition if you knew that. In fact, he's going to recall. Spirit gank does not work out there.
The top laner's Sixth Sense sometimes comes in there, Pastry Time. He lives another day, and of course Rumble, as a resourceless champion, he doesn't have that ult for 90 seconds, but he does secure his life.
Yeah, now Dragon actually going to be rushed towards Snake. Apparently have really strong vision of that top half of the map. They're going to start this up, and I think Jace has found a Frank Crystal. Going to go in a great stun there from Bucket. TP down as well from Waterley. Great jump to a minion there by Ninja. Pops the heal there as well. There's a Sergeant coming in, but there's the snipe from Bucker. Gets that first kill, and they're going to chase out now into Spirit, who's been slowed by the smite. A good flash, though, might keep him alive here, and Snake are going to continue chasing, but are likely going to back up towards that Dragon.
And the map movement from Snake was wonderful there. They were in formation. They cut off Spirit there as well. They were always in prime position to maximize the most there. And it looks like they're going to try and siege down this mid turret.
Going to take this instead. Flandre just poking with the harpoon. STYZ, it's a tornado. Actually takes quite a bit of poke damage. And now Snake in a back off. They just want to push the wave in. Now they're back towards Dragon.
They look to secure that Dragon. They know that if blowing some Spirit's health there.
They're going to come in now as well. Snake will look to clear this out. We've seen just how good the Dragon control from a lot of these Chinese teams has been. Good poke there coming through. Xerath will tag Beast there with the binding, but no real recourse there for that Dragon. Will get low enough, and Nunu easily takes that one.
And I would say the only reason that World Elite were hanging around the Dragon there was because they knew that the Equalizer was down. Of course, the Equalizer, known as one of the best skills in the game for securing those Dragon fights. They knew they couldn't contest the fight there. They poked around, but ultimately, Snake take down the first Dragon.
It was actually down, I think, for Flandre. So Snake just kind of muscled their way in. Good pressure, and I mean, it's just so dangerous to walk into this team when everyone's poked down. So they'll get themselves the first Dragon of this game. Gold lead actually to World Elite. I think that might be farm related, although it's pretty close.
Well, of course, no Dragon Gold now.
Oh, true.
Does of course mean that those small gold leads can actually be a lot more massive. You kind of have to, whenever there's a gold lead, you kind of have to visualize it as about 3, 4, 5,000 more than it would have been in a previous season game.
But stats still there to Snake, so they'll enjoy that Dragon. Buffers Crystal with his BF sword will go back now. Maybe not going for a quick static shift here, but we'll see if Tristana wants to change up that build around. There's the Zeal, so kind of transitioning here, just making the build a little smoother.
And we might see another potential engagement up the top lane.
Flandre is hanging out. He does want to go in onto Aluka. Lands a good harpoon. We'll follow in with the flame spitter damage. And Aluka, quite low. Spirit, though, has joined up here as well. And Flandre will back off.
I believe that was another case of Sixth Sense, although the Equalizer comes in.
Wants to go through. Flandre flashing forward onto Aluka. Gets ulted, though. He's going to take so much damage. Spirit just wind slashing him in the face. Absolute zero. Plus the Xerath ultimate. And that's an easy one kill. And Spirit almost snipes Aluka as well. But Ninja has actually roamed up here as well. Beast forced to snowball him. It's got to be so careful. This Jace getting poked back and forth. Aluka low as well. Needs to be careful. Now John is also here up towards the top lane. But Beast, oh, he gets shielded by Ella. There's the tornado coming through as well. And Ninja gets baited.
Wonderful map roam from Ella there, supporting her team, picking up the kill there. I loved the split focus from Barker there. He knew that the kill would be secured. Oh, is Sikona going in?
Crystal playing with fire there. That's a 1v2.
Absolutely. The moment that they saw that Janna was top, they knew they could push their advantage bottom.
Yep. They did indeed take that tower as well, and now World Elite up a tower.
A tower, and significant CS advantage in bottom here. About 20 CS up on the Tristana is Sivir.
Somewhat expected, though. I feel like in this matchup, STYZ on that big push-heavy Sivir got a nice little lead for themselves. Jace here building up towards that last Whisper, I think, with the Brutalizer. This is a fairly common Jace build I think we've seen in most of our LPL Jace games as well.
Absolutely. You're trying to max out that poke damage. Of course, nowadays, the Mana Moon does build from the pickaxe rather than just the long sword, so it could just be the fast Mana Moon. But you know those 3 items are going to come in eventually.
Yeah, and that's Jace's big point of power here. And that's one of the things he does have to charge up a little, but his mid-game power once he hits those items, and especially if he hits them earlier, is almost unrivaled from an AD caster mid. Looks like he might pick up blue buff for himself as well. Good use of vision there from Ninja just to pop himself over the wall. And he'll pick that one up here. Aluka up towards the top lane now. Abyssal Scepter first, it seems like.
And it's actually Flandre's build that interests me the most here. No rush on the Haunting Guide. Actually opting for a Blasting Wand instead here. It does give him more wave clear. It slightly takes away from his ability to, team fight. Doesn't have those dual magic penetration items just yet. But the wave clear might be more important against Aluka here, who, of course, will have fairly instant wave clear with that very low cooldown Q.
And Ella is back again here. Up with Nunu Spirits, actually rotating through as well, trying to get cute over the back of the Baron pit potentially.
Almost feels like Ella's cutting his losses here, you know? It's a case of that's how the matchup is naturally, the Janna, Tristana versus Sivir matchup. Naturally, Tristan's going to be pushed in, take longer to scale up. So it makes sense almost to try and impact other lanes because whether she's standing next to Tristana or not, it won't really make much of a difference.
And this is one of the things as well, is that can Crystal keep safe is the other thing. So far he has in the 1v2, and I actually like the little things about his build here. Not going for an early Avarice play like he did in the Snowball game he
just
had
can't
yesterday.
afford to, right?
Exactly. Wants to make safe, wants to get to his key items here. BFSO's going to give him more than enough AD to push through and comfortably CS here, and Static Shift, of course, makes the big, nice, that power curve nice and smooth.
I mean, Avarice Blade is the greedy choice, right? It's that I want more gold and I want it now. And you can't make a greedy choice if you know your support's going to be roaming and if you're just in that unfavorable matchup in the bottom lane.
So Crystal adjusting nicely here in this particular game. Tristana getting along nicely, actually. Oh, caught up in CS almost as STYZ does return to CSing the mid lane, it seems like. Might be trying to chug down some of those. Flandre back in the top. 10 CS ahead. Now, Haunting Guys is done, so just wanted an early Blasting Wand.
Yeah, and the Home Guard boots really seem to be his trademark here. He's able to get into those fights so quickly on a Rumble. You might think they're focusing on your ultimate for the team fighting, but actually being able to get into melee range now that you have 5 points in that Flame Spitter, still very relevant.
Yeah, it does a lot of front-end damage if you can afford it. And Flandre knows he is more of a frontliner here for his team than maybe he would expect to be on Rumble. You know, Nunu's got to be in the middle. All the other three are going to be in the back poking. He's really got to be in there and distracting people and throwing down that ultimate, flaming people in the face.
I mean, the only downside to that is if you're in the melee range there, you're going to be eating that poke from Jace. And it's going to be a question of whether he can avoid those skill shots so he can get into team fights relatively healthy. Because if not, if he's taking that damage, it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, curious if Soul Spirit actually does get tagged by a stun, but a nice Black Shield usage there by Conan to keep him okay. 30 seconds or so till the next Dragon's going to be up here. So you know that everyone's going to go spend their gold if they have any left to go. And then group up for this next Dragon fight. And again, Rumble level 11 now, I think, as well. Big power spike for his ultimate around that Dragon Pit.
Absolutely. I mean, Rumble's at perhaps his strongest point in the game. It's that second level in the ultimate with the dual magic penetration items that Rumble really shines. But it's worth coming back here and stating, look at how strong this Sivir is here. Obviously, the ultimate's going to buff up her team. She has the Infinity Edge finish here with some extra crit. She's going to be super strong on the team.
Yeah, now push it. Good slow, actually, by Bucker. STYZ going to get poked out. The ultimate will get thrown as well. Just trying to poke him out. Almost gets a go. Beast comes in. That's a great Black Shield. It's not quite enough damage as they will take the tower, though. Beast, though, does get locked up by that Dark Binding, but everything's okay for now.
Snake really wanted to disengage here because STYZ having no health means should be an easy dragon, but Spirit's in there.
Great flash there as well. Flame Spitter coming through. Spirit, though, will fight back in. Does have his ultimate, I believe, as well. The activated part, I mean. But everyone's rotating behind here, actually, for Snake. So Spirit's got to be careful. He's found Ella, found Bucker now as well. Dukes into the brush, but I think Ella's be able to lock him down. A good slow there coming out from Xerath, and Ella with the auto picks up the kill.
And I appreciate what Spirit was trying to do there. He's trying to create pressure because it looked like there was going to be a free second dragon for Snake. He did draw that pressure, but now they know the smite's down, and it's on World Elite here just to cause as much pressure as possible to try and deny the easy dragon pickup.
Yeah, and in keeping pressure, great counter push there from Waterleader Luca. Forced the flash away from Flandre. Oh, Sivir has been popped as well. There's the ultimate from Lissandra out onto Flandre's Rumble. Ninja they're going to dive in. That's a lot of burst damage. There's the kill, actually. And Flandre, a rare misplay, gets caught out of position.
Absolutely. It seemed like communication issues might have crept up there on both teams. Oh, but the Dark Binding hits.
Bucker locked up there. Luca goes in. Absolute zero. Will pop out as well. And there's so much damage from that Nunu ultimate. But Waterleader fighting through. Crystal gets a reset, though. And there goes Ella now as well. It's 1v2 if he wants to go in, and a 4-for-2 win there for Waterleader.
The moment that Dark Binding hit, it was go time. 4 flashes instantly in from World Elite there, picking up some exit kills, denying any hope of a dragon. Spirit comes along. The first dragon, they're going to pick up that 6% AD and AP. Starting to look better for World Elite.
So important. They've actually got a gold lead here as well. They've kept a reasonably small lead here, but a lead nonetheless in this first dragon. To equalize that objective will mean quite a lot here. Should be able to take this. Flandre is rotating down. He does have his ultimate back up by the looks of things. But that's a little too late there for Flandre's Rumble. The dragon's already dead.
I mean, to equalize that objective against a Rumble who's done very well, is actually up in CS against Lissandra here. That's a win in itself. That's a massive win there for World Elite.
Yeah, and Conan actually, we'll find Flandre just cleaning out that pink ward.
Skill shot sense is certainly on. There's been some really clutch Dark Bindings so far, especially the one on Xerath earlier.
Yeah, the bottom line from World Elite yesterday just, it's not that they played bad.
It was functional.
Yeah, they just didn't do anything outstanding, but much different game here. STYZ, I mean, he's kind of playing the I don't want to say boring champion, but, you know, he's kind of got a role, more of a utility AD carry here. But Conan definitely on point with those bindings.
I mean, utility AD carry or not, we know that Tristana has a natural power trough in the mid game, and it will never be more apparent than right now. We're seeing a static Shiv and the components of Infinity Edge against an Infinity Edge Youmuu's Ghostblade. The amount of power that STYZ has right here is absurd. She easily will outscale Tristana in this next fight. Obviously, later in the game, once Tristana gets that range up, she's going to take it. But it's all about right now WOD Elite starting to take the stranglehold on the objectives, because they have it right now through STYZ.
Yeah, Spirit being a nice guy, just freezing up that wave for STYZ, who'll clear out even more creeps for himself. 188 to 165 currently. As looks like Blue Buff going to get donated over. Bucker is here to pick it up, so he should be able to get that eventually himself. Although they're coming in, Conan fishing for a binding once again. Boomerang Blade comes through as well, but they'll be okay for now. And Snake, we asked the question, what does it look like when they're behind? They're not super far behind, but they are behind right now.
But I think they understood that was a possibility just because of this bot lane matchup here. Tristana knew what she was doing in the bottom lane. She's slowly scaling up. She'll be very close to Infinity Age Gold right now. It's not a huge deal for Snake to lose the mid game here, but it is a big deal for WOD Elite to capitalize on their mid game advantage.
Yeah, Barker is doing nicely on items as well. Rabadon's Death Cap was finished up to accompany that Morello Nomicon, so he'll be doing quite a bit of poke damage. Flandre again kind of operates with little items here. Just got his Leandro's already finished up. Wants to front end a lot more damage for his team.
Absolutely. And you're not picking Rumble to look for like a 6-item power spike. It's all about the 2-item power spike into that team fight power right here. So the fact that he's behind you in 0-2-3 on that Rumble, it's not an immediate problem.
Bucket down the bottom with his blue buff. We'll clear some waves out here as well. Continuing to keep up very healthy CS score here. 20 CS currently ahead of Jace, who has also finished up his last Whisper, building towards his Muramana. So he's actually quite close to his, not his highest point, but one of his higher points.
And Barker's one of the few people that we kind of ignored when we're talking about the Snake. I mean, he obviously played well yesterday, but he wasn't looked at to carry. In this game, he already has that huge power spike of the Rabadon's Death Cap to capitalize on with the Monero Nomicon. His poke is going to be very, very strong, and he's the one who's going to have to clear the waves and buy time for Tristana to get strong.
Flandre up again. We'll meet Lissandra in the top lane every now and then. This is quite a curious build from Aluka, really just trying to be the engager, I suppose. He's got Distortion Enchanted cooldown boots and an Abyssal Scepter.
I mean, the Abyssal Scepter to me is the curious choice just because you're paying a lot of gold for that Magic Resist Shred aura, and not a lot of people, barring Morgana, to capitalize on that and put supplemental magic damage in.
Ward there is well placed, but the pink ward should clear. Actually might not see that ward around the bend, but WOD Elite are moving aggressively towards the tier 2 top tower now. And Riven down the bottom. Spirit is back on the split push train.
And Flandre already had to use his ult to clear out a wave there, but Spirit's going in.
He is going in indeed. Wind Slash misses though, as Crystal does leap out of the way, but Spirit is going to dive. Good Buster Shot though will keep him alive. And Spirit, he is playing a much different Riven this game.
Absolutely. He's still doing that split push flavor right there, but you saw that Tristana, you were asking that question of how will she handle in that 1v2 situation with Janna roaming. 2 disengage options with the ultimate, with the ability to just W away. Very safe chance.
And I think the one thing for me about WOD Elite yesterday is that it felt like they didn't play around their win conditions all that well. Okay. So I feel like this time they're like, well, STYZ, we want Civic, she's a strong carry. You can, carry in the team fights, in the skirmishes, but Spirit's the guy we're going to put a lot of our trust in towards the mid-game especially, and they're playing much more around his Riven this time.
And look, they're absolutely playing the same style as I said, but they're just trying to execute it better. Spirit's once again, he's gone back, shot, now he's going to go back bot lane and split again. It's going to be a very strong Riven here. Compared to other junglers, Spirit's getting so much access to side lane farm, but that means that in the late game, which is not usually Riven's strongest points, you are able to flash out of her ultimate damage. She does have abilities closing distance. She's really going to have to watch her positioning there to be able to capitalize on that side lane farm.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of farm, almost 140 for a jungler is quite high.
Look at this opponent, 58 farm on that Nunu.
This Nunu, again, still doing work, building up towards a major item here. Just kind of has a couple of components, but a Sightstone to keep vision for his team. The next dragon is up in a minute, by the way, and Snake, to be fair, do have good item timing coming as well. Trist finished at IE a couple minutes ago, and we've got basically 2-item power spikes across the board for Snake.
It's on WOD Elite to continue this objective stranglehold, though, because Tristana, as you pointed out, is scaling up. We're going to see either that last Whisper or perhaps even the Bloodthirster coming in next. Once that third item's complete and starts pushing towards level 16, level 17, Triss is going to be really, really strong.
With the Tiamat finished up for Spirit's Riven, though, I'm not entirely sure Snake want to fight 5v5 for this next dragon.
And my question here for World Elite is they really need to start pushing towards that Baron objective. Okay, not taking it because everyone's alive here, but getting that Vision Stranglehold on it just because they have a chance to pick it up. Because it's the mid-game power spike they're trading on. They need to take absolutely the massive they can.
Yep. We'll see, though, Snake are getting vision around the Dragon Pit now for themselves. Ella just sort of zoning STYZ off. Good poke there from Buck and Xerath as well. We'll keep that up. Flunder's teleport is up and he's in the top lane just collecting some items. Snowball does come in. Beast wants to pop. He does go in the ult. There's the Xerath comes there as well. Just trying to zone them all out. The teleport has also been used by Flunder. Baka snipes STYZ though. Nice play.
Absolutely. I love the aggressive flash there. It does mean that he'll be able to be enclosed on in a team fight, but it should secure them this dragon.
Yeah, and again, it's the Snake mentality. One pick and go get that objective. Play as a team. And they're going to get this down. But Spirit, he is off in the wings. He wants to contest it. Does go to Tristana. No smite forthcoming, a little, actually it was down there for Beast. Not sure he had consumed, but they do get away with it.
Spirit stays in the brush here. I think he wants to pick up an exit kill from someone overextending here. It's a small thing to pick up after losing that bit objective, but it's something.
Yep. Ella will spot him off, though. Tornado has been moved and Spirit forced to back off from the kill he was desperately seeking. We'll get a pink ward for his trouble. There's a Luca and Ninja here just trying pushing him, but Flandra is here with Beast. And they'll clear out that mid lane. So a bit more of a reset now. 2,000 gold still in the lead for World Elite, but that is a relatively thin lead.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things where I don't feel like Snake were in a position really to be ahead in objectives at this mid-game point yet, just because of the strength of that Sivir. And that's kind of why we saw the flash come out from Baka there. It was STYZ who had most of the gold, who had most of the momentum on the World Elite side here for taking an objective. Him being down opened up that objective, and now Tristana just going to keep scaling.
Yep, Crystal is scaling up. Pickaxe in her inventory. Building up towards a probable last whisper, it seems like. Could be, actually, I guess can't be a second Infinity Edge. That would be insanity. But I do maybe think, I guess with the armor distribution right now, that maybe the Bloodthirst is a bit better as a third item.
Spirit doing some engaging. He might go in.
Yeah, does Chili Smite there and pops with the W as well. Spirit keeps wanting to fight Flandra that popped his ultimate down, but Spirit, an easy 1v1, just walks away from the ultimate.
He's in a lot of trouble here.
Does get the last ball, but that's a good E. Doesn't actually get any damage. And Beast, he does flash and smite the Riven and will get himself a kill.
I'm sure we all smiled when we saw that Riot was letting you smite champions, you know, often a mistake that newer players will make. That was still a very satisfying flash smite from Nunu right there.
It was. I think Beast is happy with that kill. And again, a lot of Snake have played aggressively when they find their opportunities. Buck has flashed there in the mid to pick up STYZ a few minutes ago. Beast there down the bottom, just going in. And it's great to see Snake. They seem to be a very fluid team, but I think they err on the side of aggression when they play.
And just coming back to World Elite as a Luca, you know, looks for a pick here on Crystal, probably not going to pick it up. You can see what they want to do with Spirit. You can see that they really want him to be that split put champion that no one can handle. But the issue here is that Crystal, as she starts to scale up in terms of the range of Tristana, the draw a bead passive, the amount of range and the disengage ultimate will eventually reach a point, usually when some lifesteal's picked up, that Riven will not be able to 1v1 Tristana. And then, I don't know how it's going to be a victory for World Elite.
Yeah, even with Bucker's 3-item spike now as well, pick up a Void Star for himself. He can just wave clear as well as Spirit's pushing him. He's a pretty squishy target. He's very immobile as well, but he can keep the waves clear, especially the one Spirit's pushing out as he is back down to the bottom lane now. Even that might start causing problems for World Elite. So this plan only worked for so long, I feel like.
Yeah, the insurance policy for Crystal scaling up was the fact that Barker did well. He had that death cap early. He could instant clear those waves. The Spirit once again looking aggressively into the enemy jungle. And that insurance policy is going to pay off, and the premium's going to be a big Tristana.
Beast has also finished up his Frozen Heart, so looking to slow attack speed even more mid-ultimate, and just in general, of course, big chunk of armor there as well. Delphin, Crystal, Barker here rotating in. Pretty epic wave clear between these two, as World Elite are pretty much committing to a full-on 4-1 split push.
They are getting the map pressure down here. The creeps have been constantly crashing on the inner turrets here, but they're not really picking up the ward coverage you'd expect here. You look on the mini-map here, there's a smattering of blue wards, but just as many red wards here. And it doesn't feel like World Elite are really screwing that stranglehold on vision they should be afforded.
Good poke as well. Last bolt will miss there. Luca Ninja walk away about half health each. Spirit now going to rotate and go across a ward. Actually has to be careful. Wants to clear out vision, but little too dangerous with all of Snake grouped together. W1D2 will regroup towards this mid lane now, though. And again, just kind of trying to find a way in.
They're trying to find a way in, but they're just really succeeding in drawing out the game, and we've discussed it many times. That's not in their advantage.
Oh, Spirit, though, now getting low. Crystal actually uses pretty much everything, including his ultimate, but chunks down Spirit, and that might give Snake the opening here. Smite onto a Luca there. Good black shield from Conan, though, but there's the ultimate moving in. Can't quite pop on a Luca. Goes in and tries to get Crystal, but there's too much damage there from Snake.
Absolutely. Beast's going to keep going. He might get the snowball down.
Going in there, good Q onto the Scuttle Grove actually to get him away. The acceleration gate will protect him. Spirit down the bottom, continuing to split push here, but he is going to back off.
Yeah, he's not picking up. They're not picking up the objectives they're looking for. I do like the map pressure they're putting down. I do like the positions they're getting into, but they're not taking down structures, and they're not securing Baron vision. And between those two things, Snake keeps scaling up.
Now, we've talked about it for maybe the last 5 to 10 minutes, but there's been about a 2,000 gold lead for W1D2. Is Ninja actually going to get aggressive? Good storm flashes through it. Flash though by Barker might keep him alive, but there's an auto attack. Can't miss that one.
And that's the Ninja we've been looking for, the Ninja that's willing to take the game by the scruff of the neck and really try and push an advantage. That was an excellent solo kill picking up on Barker there. But look, everyone backs away. Everyone goes back to farming. Spirit slowly walks to top lane. What objective are they getting from this pick?
And sort of what I was alluding to before is that, you know, W1D2 have had a lead for most of this game. That's great. But if it stays at 2,000 gold for 20, 25 minutes, suddenly the lead just matters even less than it did.
And we saw that with the aggressive play by Crystal there. You know, he was happy to jump into Sivir just because he knows that in a straight 1v1 now, with the items picked up, he's going to win it. Yeah, and Crystal here against Spirit, just happy to clear these waves out. He's got level 16, I believe. So draw beat is stacking up quite nicely. Almost, of course, to Tristana's max range. And just happy here to go through. Looks like they are going to siege out this time. Finally, Plunder, no ultimate. This might be a chance here for W1D2, but Conan also coming in fishing for a Binding Beast, though. Will get ulted up there by Lysandra. Damage goes in, and Beast just can't channel his ult. Conan pops his ultimate there as well, and there's a couple kills for W1D2. Very nice picks. Pick up the dragon, pick up the structure there. That was much better from W1D2. And once again, kind of the secret MVP has been Conan. Those Dark Bindings, when they hit, they've been the go button. Yeah, almost every good fight that's come here from W1D2 has actually been a Binding landing. You've been right. Now Dragon going to get considered. Spirit is not even going to be at the Dragon to pressure it here. Just wants to keep Crystal occupied. And that's what we mentioned. It's kind of that awkward part where it's the person who's holding up the top lane here is the person with the smite. But look, there's no contest right here. They're able to even up the Dragon score here. The next one's probably the bigger one, the extra 5% move speed. Highly desirable for both teams. But look, Spirit's causing pressure. He definitely has the item advantage here. He probably needs a last whisper to really, really be able to take down frontliners from Snake. Yeah, trying to carry from this jungle as hard as he can. And his team's doing a good job of letting him do it now. The gold lead a bit higher now for W1D2, closing in on about 3,000 gold. But still, if this stays for 10, 20 minutes, Tristana's just going to be too far ahead for it to matter. And Crystal now actually confidently walking up with Ella, who is hitting it. Oh, the Spirit has found the Paw Jana. Wow! That was a burst of damage. That really was. That's what Spirit's Riven is scary now. You know, 3.5, maybe 4 damage items here from the jungle. Crystal actually maybe wants to rethink this split push. And Spirit definitely deleted his Korean compatriot right there. As we do move through here, Snake still trying to find a foothold, getting more wards down. Needs a reward, I feel like, because W1D2 have got quite a few wards pushed in towards the... But they're not. The interesting thing to me is you look at this mini-map here. Okay, you have blue wards on the side of Snake from W1D2, but you don't have those aggressive wards, those wards that let you know which pathways the enemy are taking towards defending the Baron. They're not setting up for Baron vision here at W1D2, and that troubles me. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens here. STYZ keeps getting the farm here. 210 CS, actually equaling Crystal's Tristana. So both AD carries here have been farming up a storm. 3 items done with a Vampiric Scepter in reserve there for STYZ as well. Look at the creep score, and basically the items here identical between the AD carries here, which you got to give to Tristana. Yeah, I was going to ask you if you get to choose which late game carry you want, you know, to get to 5 or 6 items. You auto lock in Tristana in that particular equation. Absolutely. Black Cleaver done for Jace now as well. So pretty big high point for Ninja's Jace as well. Spirit going to continue clearing out wards here. Crystal are just going to back off, and we're committing again to a big 4-1 Spirit on the top side and the rest of W1D2 all the way down the bottom. And the cute thing I like about the Black Cleaver there, you usually see that Yomu's Ghostblade picked up just for a bit more burst of damage onto the carries. But what you'll see here is that Jace Hyperblast onto Beast, the one that Nuna's going to want to stand in front of the enemy team, obnoxiously throw out that absolute zero and create a lot of space control. Shredding 25% of his armor with a very, very farmed and strong Riven and then of course the Sivir here, they will be able to burst down that Nunu perhaps a lot faster than Beast might be overestimating his tankiness here to a Black Cleaver Jace.
The lead has progressed here as well for Elite. 4,500 gold now. 2 kills up, a couple of objectives up as well, including 2 towers there, 4-2 in that particular score. Aluka, Zoltan's Hourglass finished up for his Lissandra as well. So we just kind of peer through the items. Spirit, by the way, has just gone full damage. Oh, Crystal's found him. Spirit, though, goes in, and there's good flash, actually. Does slash Bulldog with the wind slash. Crystal, solo Beast going to come in. Ella will protect him. Somehow they peel for Trist.
0 health. There were no health bars on that Tristana right there. It had to be single figures. But look at World Elite. This is a great rotation. They do pick up a turret here, but they're woefully out of position for Baron.
Yeah, Baron is being started. Flandre is actually kind of low. Ella resets the health bars with a Monsoon here. Crystal even over the back wall being so sneaky. Buck is actually, no, not forced back. He wanted to go back. They're going to use the empowered recalls, though, to get back and defend the bottom lane.
Absolutely. He made the choice there, but it looks like they will be able to pick up this structure. So much damage coming out the Hyper Blast, and STYZ's Sivir right there. And in terms of trades, in previous seasons, I would have given this straight to World Elite, just because taking the inhibitor to the polar opposite of Baron should facilitate you future Baron control, just because you're going to have those super minions. Because you'll be able to push out those minion waves to the opposite side than the Baron. However, with the new Baron buff, with the ability to push in such a strong fashion multiple lanes, it's kind of up in the air to me, at least. I'm looking to find out the answer on that one.
I think Flandre is happy no matter what, because he gets to recall more often, use the home guard boots. He has also picked himself up a Void Staff and a Zhonya's Hourglass, so very front-end damage there from this particular Rumble. In fact, most of the carries in this game, or the solo laners, have got a lot of damage items here. So the squishy teams that we've been talking a little bit about, if someone gets caught, it's very likely they're going to die.
Absolutely. I mean, Tristana lived by the skin of her teeth in that previous engagement there, but the next team fight is going to be the big one, Patient Time. I mean, we're very keenly poised here. Both teams have their advantages. If World Elite can hold out the Baron and get a pick on Crystal, sure they can win. But you have to be a bit scared, because Tristana's going to keep scaling.
Yep, this Dragon Fighter's Crystal just picks up a kill in the mid lane out of nowhere.
I mean, that was probably 3 or 4 auto attacks at this point, Patient Time. I mean, Tristana's ripping through enemies.
Yeah, I mentioned that, the damage here is STYs. He gets smited again. And now this tower's going to... I'm sorry, I just love how aggressive Beast is with his smite. See Crystal actually going in. Buster shot used on top. Luca's got to be careful. Goes down, though. Can't quite look at Crystal for long enough. And now Flandre is rotated from the bottom here as well. All of a sudden, Snake are opening up, but Spirit is starting to base race now as well. He's up towards the top side of the map. Mid-inhibitor turret will go down. Spirit's working his way out on the top here as well. Mid-inhib goes down, and can Snake get back in time?
A solo base race, though, Patient Time, I don't think it's enough. I think Spirit really gave up a lot there. I mean, they probably lost the minimum there. We could have seen Snake try and finish the game. They're probably smart to back off. They've got 2 open inhibitors here. The next pick, if it's on a really important damage deal like Crystal and STYZ, 100% will decide the game. The next fight also. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat here. Anything could happen. Yeah,
and 4 damage item Tristana as well. If you thought Crystal was scary before, added a finished Bloodthirster to Tristana's inventory there as well. 4 items also up for Bucker. He's finished a Zhonya's Hourglass to go along with the rest of his kit. And again, the amount of damage on these carries is absurd. Conan melted under that Tristana's auto attacks. And Beast actually will spot off Conan. Good poke coming through. Bucket just missing there on his Q. And Dragon is up. This is a very important Dragon fight as well.
Be into the 3rd Dragon here, of course, bringing up that movement speed buff, which could be so important. What could be a base race situation with all these inhibitor turrets down? Both teams not looking to commit to starting it yet. We see Luca's a little bit out of position, but Flandre also clearing waves down the top lane.
Snake does have control of the Scuttle Crab, though, which we talk about. Quite important for these big 5v5
the guaranteed vision.
Oh, that's very important. Actually, starting up this Dragon here, they've got quite a lot of damage. Again, Dragon, if you commit to it, dies very quickly.
Luca has his teleport up here, so we could see the sun to come in, but no aggressive wards behind means that there's no obvious spot for the engage there.
Just poke coming now as well. Buckhead just kind of zoning them away here. Saito's pushing in pretty heavily here for World Elite, but Snake will buy themselves enough time to clear them out.
And this is kind of where I want to re-examine this Spirit Riven pick. It's afforded them so much, and if this game had been finished out in 30 minutes, it would have been a masterstroke. But now, where you can't really afford to be split pushing with 1-minute death timers in a late game team fight, that's kind of always been where Riven struggles. It's going to take a heroic flash on top of Crystal for them to finish out a game here, I think, with Elite.
Yeah, I mean, if Spirit can get on top of the carries, especially that Trist, we've seen it before. Crystal will melt.
Okay, but let's take a step back there. Getting on top of a Tristana, who has that disengage ultimate, who has that rocket jump, with a Janna support, who has Queen of Disengage, who even has Mikhail's Crucible just to add an extra one there. I just don't see how that happens.
And a QSS now. And a
sure.
Nunu.
You know,
I agree.
a few things.
I think Snake have picked their team to play a very specific
but look at
game.
this Space U-turn. That's a really, really good ward.
Here comes Ella. Spirit has been spotted out. No, he's been pushing me to the L. It's like, hey, doing Monsoon's it back. There's a snowball coming in, and Crystal's going to go over. Spirit just gets eaten by Crystal's damage there. Even Bucket throws in the ult as well.
Rest in peace, Riven, right there.
And again, the long death time is here. Almost a minute there on Spirit. 52 seconds till he's back. World Elites are trying to rotate and maybe pick up the bottom inhibitor that's likely to be respawning. But if this keeps happening, you're right. Snake just have the better late game here.
Well, my eyes are drawn to the minimap right here, Base Jam, just because we're going to see a base race.
Yep, Flandre actually pops his ultimate. He's going to try and protect it. Everyone else from Snake's coming back to it. They've got no Baron Reflect. Great zone is there from Flandre. Front-ending so much damage in front of the turret. He flashes out as well, but there's the first Nexus turret going down. The rest of Snake are here, though. That inhibits back up also. And now the re-engage could happen here. Conan low. He's got to be careful. Dives to Crystal. Gives him the reset. Ninja forced to flash out, and that is an absurd amount of damage as STYZ is forced to flash a snowball there as well. But Beast and Flandre are coming back in. That's a beautiful E-snare, though, by Aluka, and Ninja still running away. Crystal should be able to clean him out. Ella gets just the end of that tornado. That was awesome.
I mean, Ninja running for his life, but you've got a Janna with the captain's boots really to slow him down here. See Beast, he's still throwing out those snowballs.
Yeah, he's going in. Pops his ultimate now as well. Gets ultimate by Lissandra. A bucket comes in, and what a double kill.
Unbelievable damage coming from this Xerath. We don't have him selected here, but we got to feel that was about 800 AP. The ult's back up.
Almost kills Spirit there as well, and Snake might have found themselves a win here in this first game, and what a back and forth affair it was. Yeah, they're going to eat these Nexus turrets alive. Nothing that World Elite can do. And as far as exciting game ones go, this might be my favorite. Spirit tries, but it's all in vain, unfortunately. And what a way to end that last